para aquellos que no nos quieren. I am not your sister. You and I, we are not birthed from the same lands. I may shop in your malls, walk your streets, wash my mane with your cherry blossom flavored lather of privileged bliss, but you and I do not stem from the same sanguine seas. When I go home, I am never home. Your picturesque, perfectly delineated seasonal divides pollute my airways with ambrosial allergens, my eyes, my pores, my throat's inflamed. Annual reminders that the air alone sneers at my invasive liberties. As you prance about, hands filled with fine, pearly precipitant, dressing frosty transients, I writhe in pain. The searing glacial chill within my lungs, the crystallized caverns of my marrow plead for relief. These lands aren't my lands. These lands are your lands. A certificate is but a paper, conception a construct. My biological matter existed long before we came to these shores. I may not speak the tongue, pero una día regreso, yo lo sé. I am not your sister. I did not grow up on the Beatles, Dorothy's Rainbow, or Walt with his castle. My first record was Celia Cruz, my first dance bachata, my first love mi tierra. No, I did not have a Spice Girl. I had Selena. When everyone was wondering if J-Lo's ass was real, I wanted to know where she got her pants. What brand concealer did she use? Why did she straighten her hair when she had Boricua curls? When did Terry Flores become a maid in Manhattan? I'd take Michelle Rodriguez in a girl fight. I'd take Michelle Rodriguez as a street racer. I'd take Michelle Rodriguez in a campaign against zombies, on a SWAT team, lost on an island, as a Marvel superhero. I'd take Michelle Rodriguez as anything over Gloria Delgado any day. While you curated a XXX fantasy, we hailed the power of Frida's brow. While you danced the Macarena, we raged against the machine. While you photographed the bridges of Madison County, we aided the lepers in our motorcycle diaries. Who's the more civilized for it? Spanish was not my first language, but when Trump speaks, es la lengua de mi sangre. I didn't speak growing up because my dad was American. I didn't speak in class because I was embarrassed by my American accent. I didn't speak when I was in Guatemala because my American education didn't teach me to conjugate, because customs would take advantage of me, because the women at the mercado would swarm in hordes, because my family needed to practice their English. I cannot pronounce mayo with the vulgar harsh A. Son plátanos, not plantains. I don't take tea with milk and sugar. I drink chocolate puro y picante. I like my spirits sweet with agave kisses and my tortillas tostado. Yes, my family came here legally, but when we couldn't, we tread for days. I work with my hands by choice because of the bleach-soaked pores of my mother and the sun-dried cheeks of her mother before her. All the women in my family were maids at one point, the men carpenters, but we own our own businesses with government contracts, one of which is a taco truck. I am the first in my family to get a bachelor's and a master's. I am working on my third. As my mother completes her first, she is the more accomplished. I am not your sister. My mother was not a soccer mom. Bronzer and spray tans do not color these curves. When I grow old, I will retain my hair, as will my son. I don't bear the smirk of an Ivy League legacy. My lineage does not hail from the Mayflower. When your forefathers wrote the Constitution, I was not on their minds, but I can still recall the words of the preamble. My grandmother knows the name of every president. My mother did your taxes. We pay for your Social Security. And we will fight for the right of our cousins to do the same. La vida es un carnaval.